Magic win! The Magic win! The Magic defeat what was once the Red Hot 76ers, coming in on a 7-game win streak, 119 to 109, with our largest comeback of the season, Pich. And it didn't feel good to start. Some of you, like me out there, may have been planning an early retirement from this one.
It was discussed.
But you stuck around. I stuck around, and I hope you did too, because we had a big comeback in the third, even though we started that off rocky, made some clutch free throws at the end, had some help from the 76ers goofing up the ball and missing some key free throws on their end.
Yeah.
But we got a huge win against a team who is hoping to be Eastern Conference champion challengers and potentially see themselves in an NBA championship this year.
Yeah, before we get into our game, since you just touched on that, where they think they should be, I think we saw tonight why they can't take that step. This was the kind of game that they need to win. You're up by 20 points. You're at home. You got all your guys healthy. You got all your dudes there, and you can't find a way to beat the Orlando Magic at home. And then down the stretch, too, they didn't even play smart ball down the stretch.
Didn't execute
a lot
anything.
Of turnovers,
Yep.
A lot of really poor play and poor decisions by a lot of guys. Just
not fouling Markelle Fultz.
Doc Rivers
a
looks
minute
disgusted
to go.
at points towards the end of that game, and rightfully so. You almost felt bad for him. You'd expect more from a Doc Rivers coach team, and I think he expected more from his guys as well. They're going to need to figure that stuff out if they really want to be a serious contender in a place other than just the score sheet, because plenty of teams have a good record at the end of the year, but you don't really worry about them come playoff time. And I think that's what the Sixers have been for a number of years now. We don't really expect them to go to the NBA Finals. They're a top contender, but we don't really expect them to make it. If they did, we'd all be shocked, right?
76ers fans, please respond in the
I'm
comments.
sure they're not watching because they're too upset
Yeah,
about losing
They are
after having a
forlorn.
21-point win. So.
They are putting, they're freebasing Cheese Whiz down there.
Eagles
right now.
headed to the Super Bowl, they could care less right now. They're just flying high. And we say, by the way, good luck to you. Remember that stuff you guys
I
did
don't say
against
that,
the
man.
Patriots a long time ago? You got to save the AFC again. We have a really terrible representative in there. Need you to take them down. Fly, Eagles, fly.
The big story for us going into this one was Markelle Fultz's return to wherever they play.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the arena.
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo. There you go, Pich. Way to go. First time he's played there, not in a 76ers uniform.
That seems bananas
was
to me.
surprising. I think when he first came back to us this recent time,
Yeah.
we kind of held him away from those Philadelphia games. I seem to remember us kind of, he's going to wait another week, and he came back like a week after those games, just as a way of, we don't want to dump him into the deep end. But that was the big storyline, and he came through in a way, double-double, 12 points, 10 assists. But, man, it could have been so much sweeter for Markelle. 4 of 14 from the field, and there are some bunnies that not only we had – first quarter, let's just talk about it. What was it, 4-21 with 5 minutes to go in the first, and we had missed so many shots at the rim.
Our offense reminded me of me as a high school teenager, just all around, but could not find a way to score.
Just rim jobs, but never finishing. That's even high school.
Rim jobs weren't even a thing. They were actually getting a lot closer than I was, to be honest. But it reminded me of that because it was just any of those like little luck points where it hit the ball, go here. Just none of that stuff was going our way. It looked like one of those games you kind of had to just go, nope, it's just not our night tonight.
Yeah.
I've seen comebacks before from a lot of my teams in many sports, but this was one where I was like, nope, this is going a bad way. The Sixers look like they're on their game, and Embiid's come to play tonight. We're going to get smoked. Like it just
felt
did not,
that way.
It just did not look
And
good.
this team was a buzzsaw coming in. I mean, they just defeated the Western Conference, best team in the Western Conference, Nikola Jokic. Embiid was, getting ready for that, dropped 48 and 18, I think.
Yep.
Like something crazy. Maybe they had just a little come down off that high. They were really amped for that game. They want to put Embiid into the national spotlight over Nikola Jokic and give him that MVP bump. But, man, coming back after last night, what did he have tonight? I mean, he was definitely working at times. He seemed to get anything he wanted at times. But who gave him difficulties? Your boy. What do we have here? This is a German drinking song. For Moritz Wagner, yes.
I'll give Moritz some props in a second, but while I'm thinking of it, I was really surprised that down the stretch, the Sixers had DeAnthony Melton in the game.
Pretty sure he started, though.
And threw the ball to him so many times. Because I don't feel like he was the best player on the court for them at all. All four of the other players, I'd rather have the ball in their hand. And yet he seemed to be around the ball doing a lot of stuff. He did get a big rebound for them late.
Yeah.
Just seemed like a weird choice for them.
Yeah. Embiid had 30 and 11. You think you'd want that guy with the ball. He shot 11 of 20.
I think I would have rather had Tyrese Maxey in there if I were them. But that's regardless. Moritz, got to give him his props.
Amen.
This is the kind of stuff we always need from Moritz. This is why when everybody always says, oh, we got to go get a big. We got to go get a big. We got a big. It's Moritz Wagner. He had some post moves down there we have not seen in a long time. Like that's the kind of post moves you don't see in the NBA a lot of times now. And he was doing some work down there. And he was frustrating Embiid.
Bro.
But against Embiid as well.
No, you're right. He was going right at Embiid's chest.
He wasn't having it. Wendell was soft tonight.
He looked scared.
He didn't look like he wanted to. He had that dog in him, not like he usually looks against the Bulls. Not this last game, but that Wendell that gets those red eyes and can kind of come at you and do whatever he wants. And Moritz was like, "Oh, I'll bull up. Let's go."
Yep.
And to be fair, Wendell played pretty good in the comeback stretches in the third, but in the first half, he was
gone. Gone. 5 of 11 from the field for Wendell. 12 points, 9 rebounds. A very meh outing, -2 on the night. He was the only starter in the negative plus-minus. More for Moritz, 22 and 6. Yeah, coming in that third quarter stretch, picking up 2 fouls on Embiid. You could tell he was frustrating him, as Moritz does, just a bee in everyone's bonnet, causing turnovers, causing deflections. Love what we got from him off the bench. But this, for me, you want one more thing on Moritz?
One more thing on Moritz that I've noticed lately. I don't know if you've noticed it as well. Moritz has always been that bee in the bonnet and that guy that's like got a dog. And sometimes he goes too far. And I'm like, oop, all right, he went too far. And I think sometimes you have to do that as the guy who's riling everybody up. But the last few games, he seemed to know right where to go to the edge and stop.
Oh,
he loves the line. Like he didn't have to get close to that line at all with the Sixers to really bug him, which was awesome. Like he had one of those games where he was nowhere near trying to shove a guy into the second row in Detroit, right? Like he just looked like a guy who was working hard, and guys were hitting him in the face while they were going up for layups. So I mean, he's finding a new way to do it without being a dirty player or even on the verge of it, which I like too. So there's a way to do that without being dirty. And lately, I feel like he's finding his niche, which is great.
The other guy we got to talk about, Paolo Banchero, the unbelievable rookie. 29 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists on 11 of 22, 50% from the field. He had it all working, hit 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. I mean, he was bringing it to the house. Probably 3 of those missed shots he really wants back. I mean, they were right at the cup.
Rim. Yep.
I feel like, that first quarter, it got ugly. It didn't have to be that bad, and we really left some on the court tonight, some points, that is, at the boards. But we did win the boards, 50-45, and points in the paint, we won 54-50. I mean, the big difference here, I think, is the turnovers. Philly with 19 turnovers, us with 10. That's given us
a lot of their turnovers came at key times.
Live ball too. We got it out. I mean that, and then it kept coming up in the game. Fast break points. We won that 28-19.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference in the game.
It's massive for momentum, but it's also massive just because of the score differential. Paulo's 29 points to be.
11 in the third quarter. 11 in the third quarter.
So the game started out, we had 17 points in that first quarter. Obviously, we weren't getting a lot of bumps. Things weren't going. And I remember at one point you made the point, you're like, oh, I would have expected to see more fire.
Yeah.
And coming out of the last game where the starters kind of got benched,
yep.
the one guy that I did see that fire from all game was Paolo. Just because the ball didn't fall in the first quarter didn't mean that he wasn't there. You could tell he took that seriously, and you could tell early on that he wasn't going to have an off night tonight. He was going to go for 30 and try to make this thing happen, and 29 is close enough. I mean, he was right there.
Yeah. Franz didn't have a great game, but he didn't have a great game, and he drops 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists.
Right, and that's what you need from him.
Wendell
coming in with the 12 and 9 is, again...
That's the most disappointing.
It's under what we need from him on a regular basis, but we don't normally are going to get a game like that out of Moritz either, so I think he kind of picked up the slack in that department tonight. What's happening?
J.I. coming in for his 10 minutes.
Oh, what did he do? Let's see.
He opened the heavens, and he came down, and he played 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was pretty unspectacular. I did one play, though. It was unbelievable. I think he covered 3 different guys, had the ball handler, then picked up the switch, then got on Montrezl Harrell and altered the shot. That's what we see. That's the potential from J.I. You mentioned it while we were playing, and I have the same philosophy for Jalen Suggs. Just get comfortable playing some defense, young man, and the offense will come later or in the offseason as you're getting used to playing with these guys.
Sure.
We don't need to rush, not looking for crazy stat lines from J.I., but just some rebounds. He got 3 boards in 10 minutes, a couple points, +1.
I think I might find J.I.'s return at only 10 minutes a game distracting, if not for the fact that Coach Mose has done a good job of figuring out a substitution strategy at this point.
Yeah.
And he's basically just taking minutes from Bamba.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's like, okay, Bamba doesn't play 15 minutes tonight. He plays 5.
He played 6, yeah.
So it's like your number, whatever your site you're getting your minutes off, is always 1 minute off what I have.
You're on the Orlando Magic app, and I'm on ESPN, yeah.
It's always 1 minute off, whatever we say. But... yeah, Mo, to be fair, played well in his 5 minutes that he was in there, I think.
I think he did too. Yeah, I think he did. Both Mo's played well tonight. And if we didn't have that production from Moritz, we might have been in trouble because the bench
absolutely
didn't give us a lot of scoring. Cole Anthony, an off night, 5 points, 2 of 7 from the floor. He only played 16 minutes.
Yep.
Jalen Suggs played 20. His stat line's a little deceptive because he had 4 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. But, man, he was playing some really good defense. I think he was key at the end of that third quarter, going into that fourth, to maintain and then maintain that lead.
Once we started to realize we got to double Joel and get the ball out of his hands because he didn't seem to be handling the basketball well. Guys were knocking it away from him, and it was becoming a little bit of a problem. Double, even triple teaming at times just to get the ball out of his hands to someone else because no one else
do it.
Was really doing big-time things. I mean, this guy had a great game. So why he's an MVP candidate. 30 points and 11 boards still, added 5 assists. I mean, that's a big night coming off what he was, and he was almost a scratch before the game. I mean, there's no denying the talent he brings. But somebody else on that team needs to step up. 17 from Harden and Harris. That's okay. But with the minutes they get, I think they expect to go over 20. And they really needed someone else to step up down the stretch as things were getting out of hand, and no one really did. So it was just it got away.
Is it time, Pich? Is it time to have this conversation right here? Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen out there. You're not getting pulled over. This is the Bull Patrol.
Excuse me, Bull. Yeah. We're going to need to pull you to the side, Bull.
Oh, Bull Patrol is pulling over Bull.
Bull Patrol is getting pulled over at this point by the actual police, who would like to remind you that, Mr. Bull, you're going to need to stop turning the ball over all the time.
Please, man.
You're kind of predicting where you're going to throw passes, and as a long-armed man, it takes you a while to get them to where they're going, so they're getting picked off. Your dribbling has become a little bit erratic, and you're going to need to tighten that up a little bit. We're going to let you off with a warning this time. But next time, we're going to have to write you a ticket. So tighten it up out there. Keep it moving.
3 turnovers from Bull in 10 minutes, yeah. And it was squirrely. It's interesting. Bull has captured the national media attention. I, as you always like to mock me for, was listening to Locked On Sixers to lead up to this game. Okay. Of course, number one, they didn't mention Markelle Fultz at all, who was a key piece for us. They're mentioning all these matchups and who they're curious to see. Markelle Fultz didn't come out of their lips not once. Okay.
Quality show. Then
They're scared. They're scared of it. And they brought up Bull. Like, they're pumped to see, like, Bull. Oh, what an interesting piece. He's the new stretch big. I'm like, he's not even really that. He's a guard.
Yeah.
Who's like
He's
7
a guard
feet.
trapped in his dad's body.
Yeah. They're like, yeah. So, I think the allure with Bull hit the national media faster than we could have expected, and I think it's going to go away a little bit more slowly than we expect. I think it's going to take time for him to catch up with the reality of, like, Bull's not playing well.
If I still talk to the average hoops fan,
Right.
Bull is going to be one of the first names that comes up because it's a highlight thing. They're all about the highlights.
Yeah.
This is what they see on Instagram. NBA will repost a Bull highlight and not show you Paolo backing guys down or, Moritz with the good football. Yeah, they're not into that. So they don't see that.
Franz
they don't know that.
Step off the glass. Man,
People who haven't been paying attention to the Magic for a couple of years, I've started to hear about them a little bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
They may not remember, what's the name of that guy? You guys got that dude from Duke, Paul something? Or, it's
people know
it's a tough
Paolo
pronounce.
Banchero, people know Bull, but people don't know Franz Wagner.
No,
People don't respect Markelle Fultz.
Franz Wagner. They call
Yeah, oh yeah, the Wagner, yeah.
Those Wagner brothers, they're something, huh?
I get excited when I see a video on YouTube of, a content creator that I haven't checked out yet. I saw one like Franz Wagner's explosion in the league or whatever, and I clicked on it and he said Wagner, and I just fucking left immediately.
Right. Yeah.
You don't know him.
Right.
You don't know. You're not gonna tell me anything about Franz that I don't know at this point.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I mispronounce some guys' names usually on purpose, though, as a joke.
Yeah, of course. We're having a good time.
But if you're just mispronouncing it for the
I
sake
just
of
can't pronounce Gorgie Jang. I don't really actually. I think it's Gorgie Jang. I'm not sure. The Kramer haircut looking guy.
Oh, Niang? Isn't his last name start with an N?
See?
Pretty
I
sure
don't
it
know.
starts with an N. It's Niang.
Gorgie Nyang? Or am I getting confused with a completely different human? Could be.
I don't know.
All right, so let's see here. We've got, of course, on Wednesday, we are playing this team again. You got to figure they're going to want to come out and punch us in the mouth, so that should be a tough game. But, man, it feels good to take this first one because I was a little worried that this next stretch of 3 games could go 0-3 for us. 2 against Philly and 1 against Minnesota in Minnesota. Then we're playing Charlotte. New York's coming to us. Denver's coming to us. Miami's coming to us. We're maintaining 500 ball right now, though.
Yeah, I'm never worried about who we play at this point anymore. I don't care if we're taking on the biggest dogs we've beaten. It seems like
all the best
it seems
teams.
like we play worse against lower or mid-level teams that we expect to beat.
You're not wrong.
So
yeah, bring on the championship caliber squads.
Yeah, bring on the playoff teams. I don't know.
Well, we might be fighting for a play-in spot or a playoff spot in February when Pich and I are down for Court Cousins night. Thursday, February 23rd, we're going to be taking on the Pistons, hoping to get a victory. Tonight was our 20th victory of the night. We've got seat discounts. We're doing giveaways of jerseys and socks and all types of apparel, trying to get the Magic to give us some signed stuff. We're going to go down on the court after the game, cut down the net, which Pich and I still have. Still got my piece of net right there from what the net Jalen Suggs dunked on the Chicago Bulls game. That's that. It's going to be a good time. Hang out, get to meet you all the Second Cousins family coming together. So we hope to see you there. Fivo.me/Court Cousins.
Yeah, we got mugs, we got shirts, we got a night at the arena. We're kind of a big deal. I haven't said it.
He's getting too big for his britches.
No. I'm saying
humble him in the comments.
We're kind of a big deal. Tell your friends. Tell at least a few so that we can hit that 1K.
25 more friends.
Yeah, you backed off once you realized what I was going for. It's like, I got to take him down a peg. It's like, I'm going somewhere with this. Let me get there.
Thanks for all the support, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe if you haven't already and you've been enjoying the content. We are like 23 people away from 1K, which is a huge milestone for us. Thank you, everyone, for your time. We'll see you on Wednesday. Let's go Magic, baby.